Thank you, and good morning. Before we begin, to assure that everyone enjoys this meaningful event, would you please take a moment to turn off or mute all cell phones, pagers, or other electronic devices that may detract from the enjoyment of all. Thank you, and please remain standing as Lillian Murphy leads us in the singing of America the Beautiful. The words can be found on page 51 of your program. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesties, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Please be seated. Good morning. Wow. I know it's inclement weather, but this is indeed a lovely day, a lovely day. Come on now, good morning. It is certainly my pleasure as Dean to welcome all of you to the 2013 commencement of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, University of Illinois at Chicago. Today is a day of celebration, so let's begin our celebration with a round of applause for our graduating students. And Jane Addams students, I know you did not get to this point without significant support and help from a lot of people, your family, friends, employees, associates, faculty. So I want you to acknowledge that support by standing. It's like, oh, wow. And then turn and see if you can find the person or the persons who have really given you support. And give them a loud shout out. I see some people took me literally and you're still searching. You may be seated. This is, as I said, a day of celebration, so it is all right to have a few ad-lib, shout-outs that I didn't exactly call for. Now, for the people who did not give you support, and for those who may have been even astonished when you indicated that you had been admitted to the Jane Addams College of Social Work, and may have even said to you, you were admitted to Jane Addams? You don't have to worry about them today. But next week, take your program and show your name in that program so that they can see that indeed you have, not only were you admitted, but you are now a distinguished graduate of the Jane Addams College of Social Work. And you might even add, when you speak to that person, how do you like me now? I now want to introduce members of the platform party. And as I call each name, I want that person to stand, but I want you to hold your applause until I have introduced all members of the party. Our Vice Chancellor for Research, Dr. Mitra Dutta, Associate Dean Chris Mitchell, our Commencement Speaker, Joel Rubin, Associate Dean of the Graduate College, Jonathan Art, Associate Chancellor for Alumni Relations, Arlene Nordson, and Associate Dean Faith Bonecutter. Applaud now. Now, while everyone who is in this auditorium is special, we do have a special group among the special people, and these people are seated in section 103. These are Jane Addams alumni. If you are a graduate of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, no matter where you are seated in this auditorium, I want you to please stand and be acknowledged. Now, within the special group of special people, there's an even more special group in that we have here members of the class of 1973 who are celebrating their 40th reunion. So class of 73, thank you. Dr. Mitra Dutta will now extend greetings.
Thank you, Dean Hairston. On behalf of the entire UIC campus, welcome everyone to Commencement 2013. Congratulations. The educational accomplishments we recognize here today attest to your admirable perseverance over time in pursuing the highest level of success. You have worked long hours in the classrooms, libraries, computer workstations, and group study rooms to achieve today's prestigious degree. Today, your resolve has paid off. You can take great pride in graduating from one of the top-ranked public research universities in the nation and from a college whose innovative research has made real impact in the world. The School of Social Work's leadership role in addiction treatment and recovery was reaffirmed with a 5-year, $3.45 million grant to its Great Lakes Addiction Center, serving 6 states. Another generous grant will support research on the effect of crisis intervention training on mental health calls to the Chicago Police Department. And we are proud to welcome Nobel Prize laureate Jody Williams as Jane Addams' Distinguished Fellow in Social Justice. But best of all, however, the Jane Addams School of Social Work had the good judgment to admit and to graduate you. So, these accomplishments were possible because of the collective work done by faculty, staff, and students at the Jane Addams College of Social Work. When you leave here, you leave with a degree from one of the finest research institutions, not only in the nation, but in the world. In the latest National Science Foundation federal funds reports, which ranks universities based on the amount of federal funding they receive, UIC ranks in the top 30 of all public universities in the US. We have for a long time been one of the fastest rising universities in the US, achieving Research One status in a shorter time than any other. In addition to this, UIC was ranked third among US institutions and 11th in the world in the 100 under 50 list published by the Times Higher Education of the UK. Only 9 US institutions made up that list of 100. And we have been able to do that because of the strength of our faculty, our alums, our students, and each of you. As you embark on the next phase of your life, please do not think that your education ends with this commencement ceremony. I challenge you to continue your studies, whether formally or informally. The education and training that you received here at UIC have given you the tools to continue investigating your field of study so that you will remain in the forefront of your field. I urge you to apply what you have learned at UIC to the challenges that face the field of social work in the years ahead. You graduate from a school whose very namesake inspires all of us. Jane Addams was a philosopher, sociologist, author, and leader in women's suffrage and world peace. She was the first American woman to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. She was a visionary settlement worker who funded Hull House, now a world-renowned museum on the UIC campus. She was one of the most prominent reformers of the progressive era and helped focus the nation on issues of concern to mothers and children, like establishing child labor laws and promoting public health. Jane Addams's ideals of progress and reform that so captivated the country over 100 years ago are still very much the ideals of now and the future. Let that spirit and these ideals continue to inspire you as you apply your knowledge in the service of others. I urge you to assist and support underserved families and communities, grow as leaders and innovators, continue the social justice mission of UIC as you continue in your careers, and resolve to bring the same intelligence, diligence, and energy we honor today to your personal lives, your careers, and your communities. I also encourage you to remain a lifelong member of the UIC community. Join the Alumni Association, visit us often, and keep in touch with your colleagues, mentors, and friends. Let the UIC flame glow steady in your hearts. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Enthusiasm is one of the most powerful engines of success. When you do a thing, do it with all your might. Put your whole soul into it. Stamp it with your personality. Be active, be energetic, be enthusiastic and faithful, and you will accomplish your objective. Do not forget to set your goals high. Reach for the stars, for then you may soar to the treetops. And even if that does not happen, you will definitely get off the ground. We applaud your accomplishments and eagerly await future achievements of the class of 2013. Congratulations.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the faculty of Jane Addams College of Social Work. I'll ask that they remain standing after I call their names, and I ask also that you hold your applause until each one has been introduced. Cassandra McKay Jackson, Alice Butterfield, Chang Ming Shea, Larry Bennett, Annette Johnson, Sonia Leathers, Vaughn Nebbit, James Swartz, Nancy Alexander, Jose Zayas, Edward Potts, Patricia O'Brien, Mark Matini, Alan Detlef, Barbara Coates, Julie Fisher, Henrika McCoy, Amy Watson, Jennifer Wheeler Brooks, Gina Gaston, Jennifer Shepard Payne, Pamela Brown, Natalie Smith, Jim Gleason, Josh Mursky, and Otima Doyle. Thank you.
You, meaning the class of 2013, you've had excellent guidance and instruction from our faculty. And I am so pleased that almost all of you followed our Associate Dean's instructions to hold your applause. But I did hear a couple of yay. It is my pleasure and certainly a distinct honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Joel Rubin. Mr. Rubin is the Executive Director of Illinois NASW, one of the premier NASW chapters in the nation. He has been the Executive Director since 1999, and under his leadership, the chapter has accomplished quite a lot that I need not go into today. In addition to holding that particular role, he has held numerous positions in the field of social services. He is also a person who is immersed in leadership in his community and serves on a commission in the village of Skokie, where he lives. Now, he has many accomplishments, but the ones that I will just talk about right now. He is a graduate of the University of Illinois. He received his undergraduate degree from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. He received his MSW degree from the Jane Addams College of Social Work, University of Illinois at Chicago. In addition, he is a member of our alumni board. He serves as treasurer, and he is also a faculty member teaching on an adjunct basis at Jane Addams. We were honored when he accepted our invitation to be the commencement speaker for the class of 2013. Mr. Rubin.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Dean Hairston. And thank you, Associate Dean Bonecutter. Thank you, Vice Chancellor Duda. I am honored and humbled to have this opportunity to speak to the 2013 graduating class. I bring you greetings from the over 7,000 members of the Illinois chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. NASW is the largest professional association of social workers in the world, with over 140,000 members in 55 chapters across the United States, its territories, and in Europe. I would also like to give a shout out to my colleagues on the Jane Addams College of Social Work Alumni Constituency Board, who are all here today. I believe they're sitting right over there. I've had the good fortune of getting to know many of our 2013 graduates in my capacity as an adjunct instructor at the college, as well as through my work at NASW. Many of you have participated in Springfield over the past year in the annual Social Work Advocacy Days. This morning, however, I promise to do my best not to tell any bad jokes and to keep discussion of Chicago sports teams at a minimum. First of all, let me congratulate all of you on reaching this milestone in your lives. This is a major achievement. You are now entering the ranks of the social work profession at a very challenging time. On the one hand, the needs have never been greater in our state, in our country, and on the other hand, developing resources to meet those needs will be the supreme challenge to you. These are sobering thoughts, but then again, you have chosen social work, the profession of hope. As the outgoing National NASW CEO, Dr. Betsy Clark, noted in her 2009 essay, A Broader Vision for the Social Work Profession, as social workers, we recognize the importance of hope in our work. As newly minted social workers from this fine institution, you will be the holders of hope for your clients, for your communities, and your society. So standing on this podium this morning marks the 30th anniversary of my own graduation from the Jane Addams College of Social Work. So for the sake of nostalgia, let's take a brief trip back to 1983. You'll have to indulge me. In 1983, Ronald Reagan was in his first term of his presidency, and his fiscal policy were already impacting many vital human services. In 1983, Don Bryland was dean of the Jane Addams College of Social Work. In 1983, Harold Washington was recently elected the city of Chicago's first African-American mayor. Jim Thompson was the governor of the state of Illinois in 1983. Michael Madigan was the Speaker of the Illinois House of Representatives. Some things never change. Renowned Chicago bluesman Muddy Waters died in 1983 at the age of 68 in a suburban Westmont home. In 1983, Tony La Russa was manager of the Chicago White Sox winning ugly team that went to the American League playoffs. I had to get that in. In 1983, a kid named Michael Jordan was playing basketball for the University of North Carolina. Fiscal year 1983, the Illinois state budget was $14.173 billion. The state's unemployment rate in 1983 was 12.4%. In 1983, the Illinois minimum wage was $2.30 an hour, and the federal minimum wage was a bit higher at $3.35 an hour. The average cost of a home in the country in 1983 was $34,795. And in 1983, the social work profession in the state of Illinois was still 6 years away from being a licensed profession in the state. And in 1983, President Barack Obama was in his senior year of college at Columbia University in New York City. 30 years ago, we were in a deep recession with some of the similar challenges we are currently facing. Just as my classmates and I found ourselves 30 years ago with significant opportunities to impact change, so do you in the class of 2013 have that same opportunity. In a retrospective of the decade that was published in 2011 by the magazine Social Work Today, highlighted several societal and professional trends that have transformed the social work profession since 2001. It's instructive to take a look at some of these and examine their impact and influences as all of you move forward in your social work careers. The first of these trends is the impact of trauma. The 9/11 terrorist attacks in New York City, Pennsylvania, and the Pentagon, natural disasters such as Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, returning soldiers, both men and women from the theaters of war in Afghanistan and Iraq, or the recent events in Boston. These events have all ramped up the need of understanding trauma and the effects of post-traumatic stress disorder on individuals. The second of these trends has been in the area of mental health and substance abuse. The Federal Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act of 2008, which mandated equal coverage for behavioral health as it does for medical services, makes mental health services more affordable and will hopefully increase the demand for mental health practitioners. Evidence-based practice is a third trend. Increased demands for accountability from funders and the fierce competition for resources has helped produce best practices in all practice areas. Understanding these best practices will give all of you a competitive edge in the employment market. Social work with older adults is a fourth trend. We all know the statistics: aging baby boomers, and by the way, that's folks in my age demographic, greater life expectancies, increasing numbers of the elderly suffering from Alzheimer's disease. We will definitely need more social workers with expertise and experience in working with older adults. School violence and bullying is a fifth trend. We don't have to look far to realize the need for social work professionals to deal with school violence. Additionally, there has been a heightened discussion in our state of the importance of combating bullying, including bullying legislation in our Illinois State Legislature. You will all play an important part in mitigating violence in our communities. Children's mental health is a sixth trend. Early diagnosis of mental illness has been important for children's progress as well as for their parents. We have understood this here in Illinois by establishing a children's mental health partnership that works towards providing easier access to more effective programs and services that will better meet the mental health needs of all Illinois children and their families. The economic recession is a seventh trend. The psychological impact of the recession has changed American attitudes towards mental health care services. Moreover, as Renee Mallet notes in a recent article in the NASW National News, the quintessential American dream has dissolved into meaning something entirely different than it once did, challenging social workers as they help an increasing number of clients who are suffering from the negative effects of a strained economy. During this recession, social workers have been playing an even greater role reinforcing clients' coping skills. We as a profession continue to pick up the pieces of a broken system and then figure out how to make that system whole once again. Social media is an eighth trend. Last month, I had the opportunity and the honor to hear our profession's leading authority on ethics, Dr. Frederick Reamer, talk about the impact of social media on the profession. Dr. Reamer noted that the digital, online, and other electronic technology has transformed the nature of social work practice. Today's social workers are able to provide services to clients by using online counseling, telephone counseling, video counseling, cyber therapy, self-guided web-based interventions, electronic social networks, email, and text messages. Dr. Reamer suggests that our profession's great strength is due in many ways to the impressive and creative advances in its models and methods of intervention. This evolution of practice will create additional opportunities for all of you as you begin your career. Globalization is yet one more trend. Enhanced technology and communication has brought connectedness and made social workers more aware of the world around them. Moreover, we are increasingly seeing clients from all parts of the world, as well as seeking professional opportunities overseas in developing and developed nations. All the trends are producing challenges, but also new opportunities for social work and social work employment, both in traditional and non-traditional settings. Over the past year and a half, the NASW Illinois chapter, along with the state's 18 schools of social work, as well as employers, has been looking at these many trends and challenges of the current economic downturn. This work has led to a series of recommendations that include aligning the need of the markets to the professional training taking place in schools of social work, creating ways to incentivize agencies to accept more students in field placements, and providing additional skill training in the areas of insurance billing, both private and public. We hope this work will have a positive impact on the social work workforce and the future of social service delivery in the state of Illinois. I would like to conclude my remarks by going back to the message of hope that I noted at the outset of my remarks this morning. To do that, I look back to my Chicago roots. Lost in the excitement of the first term Obama election in the fall of 2008 was the death on October 31st of that year of a Chicago icon as well as national treasure, Studs Terkel. I wouldn't think it was a stretch to say that Studs would have been extremely happy with the 2008 election results, or for that matter, the results of the 2012 elections. Studs wrote about ordinary people in his numerous books that included, among others, Division Street America, Working, and American Dreams Lost and Found. I've always felt that the themes and the characters in his book resonated with social workers who spend a great deal of their time helping ordinary people, much the way social work advocates do in their work. The subtitle of the book, Working, People Talk About What They Do All Day and How They Feel About What They Do, is still one of my favorites. In fact, I lent my paperback copy to someone about 25 years ago, and I think they enjoyed it since I'm still waiting for its return. And by the way, Studs' wife, Ida, was a social worker and a graduate of another social work school on the south side of Chicago. Toward the end of his long and prolific life, Studs wrote another book whose title resonates with our profession, Hope Dies Last, Keeping Faith in Troubled Times. It's a typical Terkel book, replete with many oral histories of Americans all looking for hope in difficult times, whether that be a better job, an improved life, peace, or social justice. As the holders of hope, your challenges as new graduates is to bring hope to the individuals, families, and communities you will serve. Congratulations on entering a noble profession, a profession that matters and helps us become a healthier society. We are all privileged to now have you be a part of it. Thank you, congratulations, and good luck to you all.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the following program administrators who will present their degree candidates. The PhD and MSW candidates will please rise after the administrators have stipulated their degrees. Jonathan Art, Associate Dean of the Graduate College, will present the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Dean Hairston, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree.
Will the new recipients of the Doctor of Philosophy please come upon the platform to be hooded and be recognized? Kristen Atkinson. Vandana Chowdhury. Trevor Grant Gates.
Associate Dean Bonecutter will present the candidates for the Master of Social Work degree.
Dean Hairston, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Master of Social Work. Will the candidates for the MSW degree please rise?
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Master of Social Work degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree.
Will the new recipients of the Master of Social Work degree come upon the platform to be recognized?
Emmy Lenore Johnson. Justin Allen. Allison Kippett. Anne Elizabeth Valley. Thomas McCain. Graham Dimmick. Stephen Strahunich. Kirsten Elizabeth Winston. Carlos Solis. Michael Jason Atkinson Leon. Whitney Myhel. Cecilia Gomez. Sarah Paul. Simone Woods. Lindsay Rebecca Danish. Joel William Kern. Jessica Davida Stone Levy. Jane Bartes. Lydia Tonjuk Baker. Julia M. Kavashnik. Matthew Bauman. Lauren Blasco. Annie Dielman. Courtney Plamondon. Anne Knack. Courtney Ann Hoffman. Eduardo Mendoza. Erica Sanchez. Jacqueline Perez. Eliana Shapiro. Kara Carlson. Francisca Andrea Copel Caneo. Amy K. Love. Haley Udzbanek. Audra Duran. Emily Kirschbaum. Helen Kingsbury. Lindsay Klaus. Melissa Nicole Druganis. Morgan Elizabeth Wolf. Alice Navarez. Alicia Warren. Sarah Luker. Sarah Scheit. Dina Elmuti. Scott Carchetti. Elena Morgan Lopez. Amy Ferguson. Esmeralda Gomez. Colette Dorshuk. Christy Yobst. Allison Warner. Heidi Gold. Samantha Kolke. Marina Korikin. Margaret Miles. Julianne Nelson. Maria Malicio. Elizabeth Martinez. Kristen Rains. Sarah Cote. Janet Harrow. Ginger Joe Francis. Sharita Y. Lowe. Benjamin J. Comercy. Elizabeth Fernandez. Lydia Yee. Catherine Miller. Denise A. Victorine. Marla Golden Kolovitz. Ambrose O'Diary. Sarah Rose Greenewalt. Alexandra Suzanne McCaig. Haley Zaldivar. Bernadette Rivero. Danielle Bagas. Celia Gallegos. Megan Borowski. Callie Carpenter Watson. Jenny Cho. Christine Lodesky Avila. Laura D. Mizico. Colleen Marie Clark. Danielle Richmond. Lindsay Nakovic. Rebecca Ann Lemkow. Luciana Pavone. Aaron Josen. Abiyan Bashir. Elizabeth Danielle Loverde Mansco. Gillian Kathleen Kearns. Caitlin Sella Smith. Pheasant Weber. Carolyn Hoffer. Rashonda Linnell Williams. Goldlisha English. Bridget Leachman. Patricia Esquivel. Brooke Lynn Caney. Lauren Alyssa Gilbert. Ilya Liu. Mona Hurt. Megan Elizabeth Giblin. Sean Salzberg. Andrew Weissman. Tanika Haywan Jennings. Martha Weston. Ofelia Contreras. Adriana A.J. Hallens. Belul Kabrab. Perla Lorena Lopez. Sarah Lucille Volkman. Rebecca Barbara Baranowski. Shanice L. Alexander. Kathleen Ahrens. Amber K. Smith. Dana Falcon. Lisa Billy. Andrea Feckman. Christy Stone. Laura Roundtree. Anita Murad. Margot Shepard. Lindsay Ramey. Erin Page Greenberg. Carolyn Joy Walskog. Amanda Ledvora. Colin Strand. Jessica Cardinali. Darwin Emil Gordon. Jason Emil Montgomery. Gerald Dennis. Nathan Rosado. Elvadina Owen. Cassie Marie Rovizo. Christina Patricia Neary. Anne Sarah Azriel. Nina Gortowski. Catherine A. Grudzian. Kelsey Joe Wilson. Ginny Lee Gilbert. Kenneth Lewin. Lillian J. Peterson. Erin Ann Moeller. Margaret Kushner. Alexis Karpik Tatel. Sarah Maria Gutierrez. Romeo R. Love. Ashante Lee Carr. Tamara Pascual Nowak. Norris Teague. James Dante Roberts. Cornell Anthony Bondurant. Jennifer Cove. Jennifer Ann Gutbrode. Lynn Christensen. Carolyn Studney. Megan Walsh. Sarah Keel. Mary Clement. Daisy Franco. Shankar Peterson. Jeanette Orozco. John Boris. Nicole Ozarski. Nicole Lynn Perso. Catherine Veronica Waller. Fafa Opoku. Christy Longino. Jennifer Mejia. Cody Elizabeth Corcoles. Janice Askew. Jennifer Rose Desens. Claire Bermel.
Another round of applause for the graduating class. This is one of those times when if you're happy and you know it, you ought to be able to show it. And I must say, as our graduates crossed that stage, I could see it, that indeed we have some happy people here today. And from the loud noises that I heard when different people crossed the stage, there are some happy people in this audience as well. Somebody must think he or she's at a football game or something, because I'm hearing kind of the rah, rah, rah. But it's okay, because this is a fun day. This is a good day. I am proud now to introduce Arlene Nordstrom, our Associate Chancellor for Alumni Relations for UIC, and she's going to extend greetings on behalf of our alumni. Ms. Nordstrom?
Thank you, Dean Hairston. It's indeed a privilege to be here today to welcome you on behalf of the other 700,000 members of your family, the 200,000 of them from this campus alone. You represent all that is good about this university, and your future achievements, the values by which you live, and the education that you received at UIC is what will make us continually proud. Much of what the public will read and hear and think and believe about our alma mater will be largely based on your good deeds. We heard a challenging message from Mr. Rubin earlier this morning, and it made me think about a conversation I had with my 4-year-old grandson on the way down to preschool this morning. He said, "Nama, are there any nights anymore?" He's at that stage of his reading. I said, "No, Carter." I said, "That was a very long time ago. But when I go home tonight, I'm going to change my answer, because as I watched each of you cross this stage, that's what I thought of. It doesn't matter what the challenges are before you that were spelled out this morning. You are all ready to fight those. You are armed, and you will be successful." So instead, on behalf of our fellow alumni, I'd like to leave these few thoughts. Thank you. Thank you for choosing the profession to which you have already given great sacrifice. Thank you for the sacrifices you will make in the future when you care about your clients, when perhaps you are the only one in the world who will. Thank you for dedicating your lives to building the foundation of our country, one life and one family at a time. I ask you to make a few promises. On the anniversary of this day every year, will you please tell the dean where you are so she can find you? What? Thank you. While you are doing that, will you brag about what you've done so we can brag about you? Will you host an intern? Will you come back and be a guest lecturer if one of your faculty asks you? Will you become part of your professional advocacy group or the Illinois Connection program of the Alumni Association and make sure this nation understands the importance of social work? Will you show your pride in your UIC degree and hang that diploma where everybody can see it? And when you can, and I know you will you give back of your financial resources at whatever level you can to make sure that those students who follow you will have just an enriched education as you have had? Okay. 200,000 of us, if we all gave $10 a year, right? We could buy some faculty. So perhaps you thought you were finished, and in some ways you are. But in other ways, your work on behalf of our alma mater is just beginning today. Godspeed, every success. Congratulations.
Perhaps I am getting ready to introduce someone who needs no introduction. Pheasant Weber will deliver the response for the graduating class of 2013. Ms. Weber is a recipient of the MSW degree and is president of the Student Government Association of the Jane Addams College of Social Work. Ms. Weber.
Whew. Put it in the old sleeve here. Okay. Okay. Hello, graduates. How are we feeling today? Whew. So first, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished platform party, returning alumni, faculty, staff, and the families and guests of the students. I thank you all for being here. As president of the Jane Addams Student Government, and as many of you may know, I sent a lot of Jane mails. Jane mails are emails that are specifically dealing with Jane Addams' business. The reason I sent so many is because this year's student government was very active and wanted to keep you, the students, informed. And I do want to give a shout out to my fellow student government members, because without them, we have not been able to have so many events or our awesome swag that we gave to you guys later in the year. So Emmy Johnson, the Vice President, Allison Kippett, Student Affairs Chair, Ann Valley, the Treasurer, Caitlin Smith, the Committee Liaison, and Margaret Kushner, the Part-Time Program Liaison. I had the pleasure of working with this wonderful group of women, and I'm so thankful for that. So let's give it up to student government. I hope it continues year after year. Wow. So we finished the program and we are now PhDs or MSWs. I'm going to be honest, this was quite a journey for me and a challenging endeavor. It feels so amazing to be done. And I know, and I hope you are all basking in the glory of knowing that from now on, you can put a little comma next to your name and the letters MSW or PhD. We are no longer just names, now we have commas. And I know a lot of you are going to be adding a lot more letters to your name as the years go by. When people ask me the question, how did you know you wanted to be in social work? My first response is simply being a member of the society and being aware of all the injustice that exists, especially for the oppressed and impoverished. I know that I want to be a part of changing these realities and working towards making a difference in our societal structures. When I started to explore this question and reflect on my past, I found that I was destined to be an agent of change since birth. I remember these small events that occurred in childhood, and I realize now that it put me on this path that I'm currently on. There's a specific story that happened in elementary school that I'd like to share with you. I was definitely not the cool kid. And one day, a group of popular girls was like, hey, you should join our group. I'm like, okay, wow, getting the invite into the cool kid group. And I was like, okay, I'll join, but I want my friend to join with me. And they were like, no way, she's not joining. So I was like, no thanks. And at the time, I remember thinking that was just the right thing to do. That was just me being a decent human being. And I remember my dad would brag about it to his friends just over and over again. And now when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that was the social work thing to do. And there's a whole profession dedicated to this. As social workers, our ultimate goal is to eliminate the harsh realities and injustice and poverty. Being in this program really provided me with an opportunity to see just how many structural issues we have in our society and how imperative it is to involve ourselves with policy work or just be aware of what is being done. As a community health and urban development student, which many of you know as CHUD, I have a more macro orientation than other students who are in different practice orientations. And when I say macro, I mean big picture issues, working in administration and policy to start tackling these structural inequalities that exist. In these challenging times, it is crucial to have all types of social workers working in different arenas that include direct service, counseling, case management, policy, advocacy, community development, and yes, even politics. The services our profession works in with the most vulnerable populations are particularly susceptible to the changing political climates of our country. More specifically, conservative policies, and funding is always a big issue. Increasing awareness of these issues can create a larger groundwork from which to mobilize people and resources to create more progressive changes. When I was a little younger, I developed a phrase called "be the awkward." While I definitely consider myself to be awkward, the point of this phrase was to challenge myself and others to stand up and speak out. As social workers, we will be placed in many situations that are uncomfortable, scary, unusual, and just plain awkward. And it will be a challenge to be the person who speaks against the status quo, to be the only no in a room full of yeses, or to be the one who speaks up for someone or a group of someones who can't speak up for themselves. Then it will be our challenge to motivate these groups to speak up and provide the tools to do so. Tools that include empowerment, skill development, community resources, and our arsenal of knowledge that our social work education has taught us. Here is another phrase for you. That's just the way it is. I challenge all of you to be the awkward and challenge the way it is, because that statement stifles innovation, creativity, and new ideas on how to solve social problems. A way to create change is to critically think about different solutions and celebrate those differences. I encourage all students to take the time to thank whoever in their life has helped them achieve this fantastic feat, or encourage them to become involved in this field. Personally, I want to take a moment to thank my mother for her continued support and unconditional love. This is one of the few times I'm gonna have a microphone, so I'm gonna have to take advantage of this. Mom, you are truly a hero and inspiration to me, and I'm honored to be your daughter. You have always offered a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on, and I thank you for that. I want to give a shout out to my father in Afghanistan. I hope he's watching this streaming video, for his love and support. And my sister Macy, who's in Kansas, and I hope to see you very soon. My brother Dane is here, and I'm so glad he's here, and I'm so excited to watch the Bulls beat the Heat tonight with him. And I also want to thank my best friend Mary for the years of friendship and unconditional acceptance of my true self. So I love all of you, and I really thank you. And in conclusion, graduates, I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors and encourage you to be yourselves. I know this sounds cheesy to some, but I think it's crucial to be genuine. Admit when you are wrong, admit when you don't know the answer, and strive to learn more and more every day. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you.
You know, in social work and many other fields now, there is an emphasis on evidence-based practice. And I think I have seen and heard the evidence here today with that speech that the Jane Addams legacy of social reform and social change and work with and on behalf of persons who are poor and to our work addressing issues of poverty, discrimination, racism, and oppression, that future is in good hands, right? Congratulations again to all of our graduates, and another round of applause. At the conclusion of the program, I invite graduates and their families and friends to join us for a reception in the tent that's just east of this building. And I am asking that the audience remain seated until faculty and graduates have left the auditorium. Banner carriers, please retrieve your banners. The 2013 commencement of the Jane Addams College of Social Work, University of Illinois at Chicago has now ended. Thank you.